Hello and welcome to a Fan the Flame short with me, Robert Stevenson, the creative director here at Fan the Flames. So recently I've been noticing some shifts in my energy and some changes in the way that I work. And I know that we all go through cycles, right? We all go through our ups and downs. We all go through those moments of having lots of energy and we doing lots of different things. And then our moments of kind of being a bit softer, a bit calmer, and doing a little bit less. And I guess that part of what we need to manage in all of that is making sure that we're not burning ourselves out when we're doing the lots, so that when we're doing that, we don't kind of hit a wall and go, right, I can't do anymore. And recently I noticed that I was going into a bit of a calm phase. Some of the projects, some of the personal and private projects that I had on the go, I was just kind of pulling back on a little bit and just pausing and just giving a little space to. And then some of the other things I was giving a little bit more energy to. So some of the associate work I've been doing, but also my one-to-one coaching, I've been really giving that a little bit more energy, a little bit more thought, and taking on some more one-to-one clients. And then today I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, Karen, who is based out in Amsterdam. And we were talking about energies, and I was talking about firewalks and the energy of the fire. And she was like, "Oh, wow, that sounds really interesting. Tell me some more about it." And as I was telling her some more about it, I realized there was like a sequence of energies or states when creating a firewalk. And it made me contemplate, well, if that series of energies or that journey around a firewalk existed and had kind of really had parts to it that you could observe, then maybe we could go on those journeys as well. And if we map ourselves against the journey of a firewalk, then maybe we can notice where we are. It's a little bit like when I think about the hero's journey and I go, well, where are we on the hero's journey right now? What phase are we on that journey? And because right now I'm really into all things fire, I thought, oh, let me think about the firewalks and see, so how does that show up for us? So here are the phases of a firewalk as I understand them, as I use them in the work that I do. And I'm curious for you to notice, well, what phase are you in right now? And you might be in multiple phases, because one of the things I think about is that we're not on any one single plane at any one time. We're in multiple planes. So it might be that you're on one phase with your home life, and one phase with your work, and maybe another phase with your family. So, think about, well, where are you maybe a little bit stuck? And where might you be in a phase around the fire journey to look at, well, what's coming next? Because maybe you're not stuck. And this is what was coming up for me, you see, is that maybe it's not that I'm tired, but maybe I'm in a phase that is different. And because I'm not used to tuning into it, it feels odd. But when I take time to really reflect on it, I start to go, oh, maybe it's just that I'm in a different phase and it feels slightly different. But then a new phase will emerge from that, or will circle round and begin again. So, right, the firewalks. So this is how I see it. First of all, we choose the space where we're going to have the firewalk. So we choose the piece of land where we're going to work. So maybe we can think about that as we choose the area of work that we're going to do, or areas of works that we're going to do. But then when we get to the land, we have to decide, well, where does the land want us to do the work? Where does it want the fire to exist? And where is the best place in relationship with the trees, with the fences, with the roads? Where's the best place in relationship for us to create our fire, for the firewalk? So there's this kind of negotiation that takes place. And then we have to prepare the land. So we want to move out any stones that are there. Maybe we're laying down some turf to protect the grass that's there. Maybe we're laying down some concrete sheets as well to get some real super protection going on there. And once we've done that preparation, like we might do at the beginning of a project, we then build our fires. We start with those foundations and we're adding the wood as we go. We're adding bits of kindle as we go, and we're adding paper as well. So we build our fires, and our fires begin to take shape. We might even use some oil on there so that when we light it, everything burns and combusts all at the same time. And then we light the fire, right? So we built the fire and then we light the fire. Maybe before we light it, we call in the spirits of north, east, south, and west. Maybe we call in the sky or the land. Whatever belief system that we might hold, we might bring that to the fire, and then we light the fire. And what's really interesting in this is that there's planning, there's preparation, there's moving, there's some heavy work as we build the fire. And then when we light it, there's a moment of waiting for it to ignite. And we're waiting and we're waiting. Now, if you're a little bit like me, you might get a little impatient. So one of the things I have to tune into is, with some of the work I'm doing, am I just being a little bit impatient? Because it takes time for the fire to take hold. And then once the fire takes hold and it's fully alight, then there is some serious heat going on. It's really hot. And when it's like that, we have to step back from the fire to allow it to do its thing. So sometimes we feel that something's a little bit chaos, it's a little bit out of control, but it's just the fire raging and turning the wood into the hot coals that we're going to walk on later. So there's a piece for me to think about there about, when is it that we have to step back from the heat? It's not that we're running away from something, it's that we need to give it space for it to combust, for it to grow and change and rage before it then simmers down from that hot flame into the hot coals. And then there is a kind of a calmness in those hot coals. And we rake them and we pat them and we prepare them for walking. And then we walk. And when we walk across those fires, those of you that have seen it or been part of it, you know that we're walking with purpose. We're walking like somebody who knows where they're going. And that's really interesting, right? Because when we create a project and there's that rage and there's that chaos, and then they get to a point, we go, right, it's happening, right, let's do it. And we know what we're doing because we've done all the planning, we've done all the prep, and we're off and we're walking that fire. And we walk 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, as many times as we want, until we get to the point where we go, right, the walk is now closed. And we bring all the coals together and we watch them glowing. And maybe we douse them in water to bring it to an end. And that's like a cycle of projects. It might even be a cycle of being. So it's made me really think about, well, where am I in my cycle of being? And where are you in your cycle of being? Perhaps you are at the point where it feels like there is chaos and there's raging fire all over the place. And you need to step back and you need to be patient and allow for the fire to die down into the hot coals before you walk across, before you deliver your projects, before you get to the end. Or perhaps you're in your building phase and maybe you need somebody to support you in, well, where do we put the logs to create the best fire that we can create? So I'm just curious, where does this sit for you? What does this make you think about? I'd love to hear your thoughts. So pop them in the comments below or drop me a message. And as always, if you'd like to have a conversation about this, if you'd like to work with me on this, then just let me know and we can have a conversation and explore how we might work together. So this is me, Robert Stevenson, saying, what am I saying? I'm saying enjoy the fires in all of its phases, but recognize where you are in the phase of the fire. Have a great day today and every day. And I look forward to catching up with you soon. Take care, everyone.